The Spanish announce table.
It's episode 312 of the Spanish announce table, and we're here. This is a fun one, Tom. We've had a joy of having several guests on the Spanish announce table throughout the years, and very often we've had some very, what's the word I'm looking for? Reoccurring guests, right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
These two are near and dear to our hearts because if I'm not mistaken, when we first had them on, they were in their first year of pro wrestling, or maybe the first 2 years. It was near the beginning.
Yeah, really. Real early.
So we've seen this kind of journey, and what a journey. And of course, as everybody's journey has brought us along, COVID hit. So we've got a whole lot to talk about with long-running friends of the show, the Riegel Twins, New Japan superstars, right? Tom, why don't you give them a better billing than I've even given them here?
I tell you what, I am not kidding you when I tell you this is the best emerging tag team in pro wrestling. As the independent circuit, this is the best tag team as far as offensive moves, selling, storytelling. You can't spell twin without W-I-N. They got the gimmick. They got everything. And I tell you what, we'll get into all that in just a second. But let's back up. As Tim, you mentioned, 2020 has been a crazy year. So, guys, where we're going to start off with you is what's it been like for an independent pro wrestler in 2020? Describe what this crazy journey has been like so far.
I'll let him start because his 2020 was a little bit more hectic than mine, per se. Well, since COVID at least. Yeah, I mean, it was crazy because, let's see, at the end of 2019 was when we got we had a tryout with New Japan, and then we ended up getting on a couple shows before the new year, which was we wrestled on our first New Japan show December 8th, 2019. So a year ago yesterday. Or 2 days ago, yeah.
Wow.
So, which feels like 5 years ago.
It feels like
crazy, an eternity back now, but it's so it was crazy because 2019 ended with a lot of excitement.
Yeah.
And then 2020 started cool. It started fine. And then obviously everything happened with the global pandemic. So it kind of threw some stuff off. But yeah, we've been extremely lucky to be able to work for New Japan Strong since 2020 happened. So it's been awesome. But yeah, to start 2020 with the pandemic happening, we didn't really know what was going to happen. So it was kind of scary. But I feel like everybody was in the same boat as far as like people we knew. So it was one of those things where it was scary, but everybody kind of was going through this new normal together. So it just felt like kind of like we just needed to like wait it out and just be patient. And that's kind of what we did, and it's worked out for us. So
what do you guys do as a tag team? Because I imagine it's different as a singles competitor to kind of stay up on your game. Is this during that time period where you guys just watching tape of, teams that you're influenced by, or were you guys saying, you know what, we're going to try some conceptual different moves in our head? Like, what do you guys do to stay sharp when you can't get in the ring?
That's a good question. Honestly, just watch as much wrestling as, at least me, just watch as much wrestling as I can. Even like I like bounce back between watching stuff I want to watch for my personal self moving forward. Then I want to, like, there's sometimes when I just want to watch like stuff that I watched when I was a kid just to watch it and just shut my mind off. So like whether it's between those two, I'm usually just always watching wrestling.
Yeah, to be honest, he watches a lot more wrestling than I do. So he's always sending me stuff. Like, he's always the one that's sending me ideas. We should do this. We should do that. Because I go through phases where I get really obsessed with it and I want to watch it all the time. And then I go through other phases where I kind of, especially in 2020 when, like, no wrestling was happening, it was kind of like it was kind of like a sore subject where I was like, I didn't want to watch it because it just kind of brought back, not bad memories, obviously. It brought back great memories, but it brought back the feeling of like, man, I don't know if this is ever going to be normal like it was ever again.
Definitely.
So,
definitely.
But yeah, to answer your question, a lot of it too is just being around each other a lot. In the beginning of 2020, I got stuck in England. My fiance's English, so I was over there visiting her and her family, and I was only supposed to be there for 2 weeks, and I ended up being there for like 5 months. So it was weird. Yeah, So and that was right when COVID happened, and like my flight home got canceled, and there was a bunch of unknowns, and like obviously work and everything here stopped, and there was no wrestling. So, yeah, I know when I'd be able to get back to England. So I kind of stayed there and hung out there for a little bit. So we were away from each other for a long time, but we talk every day, we text every day, we FaceTime every day. We don't live together now, so we are separate. As close as we are as far as twins goes.
Bro, he's ruining the gimmick, right? He's just ruining.
No, I mean I feel like it's a good gimmick.
We don't live together.
A lot of people think that we're like attached to the hip, and we're not, which I feel like honestly helps us in the wrestling ring because when we are out there, we're like kind of firing all cylinders as far as like we know this is what we are, but at the same time we can shut it off and be like we can live our own lives, and like wrestling isn't the thing that's like making us be close. You know what I mean?
Right.
You don't have to check with him for what you're going to order at McDonald's when you're swinging through the.
Yeah. Like a lot of people ask us, like, "Oh, do you guys like live together? Do you guys do this and do that?" And we don't. And I feel like people kind of think that we are attached to the hip and we're not, which I think, like he said, might ruin the gimmick. But I feel like it helps us as far as like getting our mental space ready.
For sure.
Just make sure they buy a T-shirt before you tell them, right? Before you tell them we don't live together, when you're giving them the T-shirt and you're taking the money, and then you say thanks. Hey, the England thing. Okay, so you're there for several months. Like, do you have to let somebody know, like England officially? Like, do the cops ever stop you and you're like, no, look, I'm a pro wrestler and I was just visiting my fiance? Like, how does that operate? How does that even work?
Well, I mean, if you're an American, you can be you can have like a vacation type trip up to 6 months.
Oh, okay.
So you can be there for up to 6 months. Obviously, you can't work or do anything like that. But yeah. So when I'm there, I'm just there as like a visitor, okay. Yeah. So when I was there, I was there completely legally. So if I did get stopped, I'm just like, I'm just here visiting. So
Well, so then I guess, okay, so to COVID hits, and I mean, you guys you're independent contractors, right? As we've kind of discussed this pro wrestling world, your job is inherently not socially distanced. The people paying your salary, be the fans, are inherently not socially distanced. So I'm sure you have to be in moments of just near panic going, what are we going to do? And I mean, I think you said that, but then, so what do you do? I mean, do you instantly start calling folks like, hey, are you running shows, or what are we going to do? Like, I mean, you don't have to tell me how much money you got in the bank. So, but I mean, like, is there panic mode setting in ever at some point, or?
I don't know how it is for a lot of other guys, but we have other ways that we make income outside of wrestling. So
right.
Those kind of took a little more focus, but I mean, because of the global pandemic, those things got, messed with too. So,
oh, sure.
But for me, it was just working out and just enjoying family and my cats, and just kind of it was a nice time for me to just bulk up and just try to just put on more muscle. I went and bought like a bench press, like a bunch of gym equipment. I put it in my garage because all the gyms closed. So it was pretty much just sitting at home working out.
Just ride it out.
I do think that a good thing about this whole thing, like a positive, that I feel like it's given not only us but a lot of some of our other friends in the business like time to not only like get in better shape but also like get healthy. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Little tweaks and bumps and stuff like that. When you're wrestling every weekend, you get your knees start hurting, your neck, your neck, your elbows. So I know for me it was good to fully recover.
Yeah.
Fully feel like, oh, I don't have, this bump here, or this ache here. So that was a positive. I will say that, being able to like actually feel like you're 100% in the ring again.
Yeah.
But it was scary. Obviously, yeah, like a lot of our income does come from wrestling. So when that just shut down, it was scary, and it definitely forced us to depend on other things. Try and step our game up with stuff like merch and stuff like that, which we need to get better at anyway. But it just makes you think about other ways that you can create income for yourself involving wrestling without doing the actual wrestling. So it's it was a little different, but it is what it is, you know.
Yeah, we were in a little bit different position as far as like we had, you know, ended 2019 on a really good note, so we were kind of like, you know, talking to some people, and then, you know, so I couldn't imagine being somebody, you know what I mean, if you're like, you know, truly, you know, only working independence and this stuff hit. I mean, it's crushing
a lot of folks.
Well, yeah.
I mean, it's crushing a lot of people that aren't even wrestling that shit. It's just
I mean, I think about it every day. There's so many good guys. There's so many unbelievably talented guys that should be on TV making a lot of money professional wrestling, not wrestling. Haven't wrestled since, you know, who knows. So it's like, it's one of those things where even though would we want 2020 to be different? Yeah, I don't want to sit here and sound like you know, boo-hoo on me, because I feel very fortunate to where we're at right now.
Yeah, well, because, I mean, one example that kind of has made the rounds for 2020 as an example of that was Eddie Kingston. He said before he got his chance at AEW, he was selling his wrestling gear so that he could pay his bills, and he was going to transition to something else and got the opportunity. So that's like where we want to transition now. Is you mentioned at the end of 2019 you got New Japan Pro. So for people who may not be too familiar with New Japan as far as their structure, explain to what the common wrestling fan is, what is New Japan Pro, and how is that different than the Tokyo Dome of New Japan that you see on Access TV, or, you know, you hear about Wrestle Kingdoms and things like that?
Are you talking about just like New Japan Strong?
Or Strong, excuse me, I said Pro. Yes, New Japan Strong.
Well, so because of COVID, they had to, you know, do something with their TV just based on because there was no wrestling going on, you know, other than WWE and AEW at the time. So I think they just wanted to have an American brand running at a time where everybody was going to be watching TV or looking for some product. So I think that's kind of how, I really don't know, you know, we were just.
Well, how did the opportunity come to you guys? You mentioned 2019 is when you guys went to New Japan Strong. How did that happen?
So earlier in 2019, we had a tryout at the LA Dojo, and did the tryout. It was awesome. There were a lot of awesome dudes there. It was an awesome time. Then we're lucky enough to we got used on the 2 shows in December. The
last year
Expo shows. What was it?
Lions Break Crown.
Yeah,
yeah,
something like that.
It was like Lions Break Collision, what they called it, and they had 2 shows in Anaheim that they used us for, and obviously that was before the pandemic. So we kind of got the idea that they were kind of looking to, and like he said, I'm not sure about the exact details or any of the workings behind it, but they wanted to start doing some stuff in America, and I think that's what kind of led it into New Japan Strong.
And that's what led to the tryout too.
Yeah. I think that even though the pandemic happened, I think that the New Japan Strong thing would have happened anyway. But the product that you see now is obviously because of COVID, it has to be, you know, no fans and stuff like that. But yeah, I think the New Japan Strong stuff was going to happen regardless of the pandemic or not.
So, yeah, but it was basically just, we had the tryout, performed well at the tryout, and then had 2 matches against Aaron Solo, Mysterioso, and Barrett Brown and Mysterioso. And those were fun matches. It was a really cool crowd. It was like at an expo, so it was like a big crowd.
Yeah.
Big convention center. And we did those 2 shows and left it, you know, on a good note. And then obviously, you know, kept in contact with you know, them. And then the pandemic rolled around and we kind of were in the unknown, and then, you know, got the call for New Japan Strong. So it was just, you know, straight to getting ready for that and preparing for that. And it's kind of just been, ever since then, it's just been, you know, that's what we've been doing.
So one thing that I found interesting is New Japan Strong actually had singles matches for both of you guys. Logan, you started that off. What was it like to wrestle for New Japan as a singles competitor instead of traditionally, you guys have always been a tag team.
Yeah. So so what was even crazier is that the reason why I was actually wrestling as a singles is because we were supposed to both be there, but he was stuck in the UK because of COVID and wasn't able to travel out of the UK. So I was lucky enough to go over there to go out there to do the New Japan Strong stuff on my own. And it was a crazy experience for me just because other than, practice matches in front of nobody during training or, I had one singles match NWL and then one singles match on the Indies. Other than that, I haven't worked any singles matches. So, it was really nerve-wracking. But at the time, this was August.
In the summer?
August.
Yeah.
This was in August. So at the time, I was just, chomping at the bit to wrestle and to perform. So it was just kind of just, jumping in the deep end. But it was
in those moments when you're in a match when you're wrestling there, right? You say it's singles match. You haven't wrestled, but 3 or 4, right? Total. Are you ever in that moment? You're like, okay, I got to look for the hot tag, and you're like, shit. Just fuck. Like, is there a or like, is it flow? Or are you kind of in the zone and you're not thinking about that?
Yeah, and I think people don't really realize. I feel like people don't like. A lot of people don't realize that. Yeah, like 98% of our matches are always tag matches. So it's just weird being in there singles. It's just always weird. It's just like and I'm sure when people are in tag matches or whatever, they're probably like, this is weird for me too. But like it's just for people like us where it's like literally we're been a tag team this whole it's just like
since the beginning it's like you guys are twins, you guys are a tag team, and there are weird occasions like I think we wrestled each other one time in the Indies where singles matches against each other, and then obviously in NWL when he was hurt I got to do a lot of single stuff. But like besides that, when we're both active, it's like 100% always. We're like, there's literally 100% chance that it's going to be a tag match, no matter, unless some weird freak thing happens. It's always going to be a tag match when we're on a show. So, but it is weird being in there and not being under tag rules when you're so used to it. It's conditioning. There's a lot more. People don't understand that. Like when you're in a tag match, it's kind of like everything's split in half. So you don't have that time to rest on the apron. So it's a different ballgame for sure.
So then let's talk about then you guys finally do reunite, right? Sterling, you get out of the UK, you come to America, then you guys go out. And correct me if I'm wrong, you guys do these matches in California, is that correct? So when you guys are flying out to California to do the New Japan match, are you guys like finally like this is what we've been waiting for? This is the opportunity to like get exposure because one of the coolest things that I saw for you guys is you guys after a win or even after some of your matches, you guys get to do that backstage promo that's so synonymous with New Japan. Like, what was that like? What was wrestling together in New Japan? Talk to us about that experience.
Well, it was kind of crazy because I actually the first time I got to do the New Japan stuff, I flew directly from England to California, so I didn't really have time to.
So that was the first time you guys saw each other since.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So it was straight to business, and so it was really cool. Obviously, so like we hadn't seen each other in a long time, so it was cool. It was really good to see him, and then on top of that, we were like wrestling for New Japan, so that was also really exciting.
Yeah.
But yeah, man, it's just been really fun, and like you said, just like the promo at the end of after the match, like that's so synonymous with New Japan, like stuff like that. It's just awesome, and when you're in the moment, you're not really thinking about that. You're just thinking about doing your best. But it's definitely been one of those things where I've tried to enjoy the moment more. Just I don't know if it's because I'm getting older or what, but or maybe because of the pandemic and you kind of can think about things more. But like during this whole thing, I've kind of tried to slow down and like really enjoy and really soak everything up. And it's something that I didn't really do at the beginning of my career, and now I'm trying to do that more. So it's like it's just really cool and just exciting.
Yeah, it was cool seeing him. Yeah, just flying into California and then meeting up with him and just getting going just straight into just working for New Japan. It was pretty wild. But yeah, back to the interview settings after you come back after your match. That's something that you said is like New Japan's, that's one of their things, but that's something that you don't really see American style do, American TV like that. New Japan is kind of, they gear it to be kind of more like a sport. So the fans kind of view it that way too. So it's for us, it's I love it, and it
feels more like a post game interview.
Yeah, I think it suits us. It suits us better. It's more of our style, more of our speed. It's people ask like, why are you so out of breath? I'm like, because we literally just got out of the ring. Yeah.
Oh, so is that how it works? Like, is it literally like 1, 2, 3, whatever, and then you're just walking into this area?
Yeah.
Wow, that's cool.
Just sweat, just all.
Yeah, so you don't have any time to think about anything. You're just post match. So you get it's
that's fun.
I enjoy it.
I like it. I think it puts off a very cool kind of image to the crowd that like a lot of the time we're beat up, we're sweaty, we're out of breath, and it's like I think that's really cool, and it shows like the sport aspect to what we're doing. Yeah, which we love.
Realism.
Yeah.
Tim, did you have anything?
Well, I just this is so fun. Like we're 7 years deep. You guys have come all the way, from wrestling shows around the local area to now here we're talking about your jet setting from England to California, right? Your limousine riding, jet flying, all that. What do you guys? Are you making moves? Are you looking forward to anything next, or are you guys just like, hey, this is COVID, let's just do our best here? Like, what's in the plan for the Riegel Twins?
I will tell a cool story. So on my flight from England, California, obviously it's an international flight, so the plane's huge, and there was probably all the global pandemics going on. So there's not many Americans flying back from England to California. And so I was like one of 5 people on the huge.
Wow.
Nice.
Felt like I had like a private plane, so I did feel like Ric Flair.
Like you're Ric Flair, yeah.
Yeah, I was like, this must be what Flair felt like. But no, I think we have a lot to look forward to,
Yeah, I think for us it's just more, more stuff with New Japan. I think, with the global pandemic and seeing how everything is, I think our next goal is just to get over to Japan. But it's New Japan
over there.
What teams are you looking forward to working with?
Oh man, so many. I mean, at this point, it's hard to even think about because of the pandemic.
Right. Yeah. True.
But
so when that's first like your first match back, right? Like COVID's hit, everybody's scared, pandemic, people are barely doing shows. It's your first time back in the ring. Are you doing your pre-match ritual? Are you bathing in hand sanitizer? Are you like are you taking any extra precautions? Like how does that work? Like were you super scared or anything like that?
Well, luckily New Japan's super professional, so we're all tested and bubbled up before we even get
everything's protocol to the T and everything's super safe. So
right,
all those thoughts are out by the time we actually get to wrestle, all those thoughts about that kind of stuff's out the window, which is great.
Yeah,
so it's all good there. But yeah, I mean, it was nerve wracking as far as I haven't wrestled for 6 months, 5 months, and getting right back in the ring in a New Japan in ring. That was it was just one of those moments where you have to kind of sit there and be like, this is it's time to put up or shut up, and
right.
this is what you want to do, and if you want to swim with the sharks, and you gotta swim with the sharks. So it's just kind of like you don't really have,
brother. Right.
Yeah, you don't really have time to be scared. You just kind of have to go. And I feel like me and Logan have always been two type of guys that when the lights are on, we'll always be ready. And no matter what, no matter if we're, have been wrestling full time for X amount of days, or if we haven't wrestled for 6 months, like we're always going to do our best, and we're always going to be gamers. So.
Well, we obviously want to be respectful of your time, so we won't take up too much of it, but let's get some plugs in. When's the next time we can see you guys in action? Do you guys have anything upcoming that we should be looking out for? Give us the whole
merch.
Yeah, what's the merchandise looking like? Give us the whole rundown.
So we got a bunch of we got some new Chiefs inspo shirts. Kansas City Boys.
Chiefs, yeah.
Hey, they won the Super Bowl. You guys remember that?
Yeah.
You remember that?
I feel like 10 years ago, but we did
win the Super Bowl.
Yep.
Yeah. That happened.
That feels like so long ago. But we got some some cool Riegel Twins / Chief shirts that we got dropped. So
get that.
Want one of those, let us know. Hit us up on our social media.
Hit us up on Instagram.
We'll ship them anywhere in the world,
Twitter.
worldwide. But as far as our matches,
what is that? What's the handles for that? The Instagram, Twitter, and all that.
Twitter is just the Riegel Twins. Riegel spelled Riegel.
Twin spelled TWIN.
Folks are gonna have to rewind the podcast. Some of the listeners. Some listeners are quick. Some listeners are quick, but we love them all. Yeah.
No, people just love to spell our names wrong. That's all it is.
Yes. Right.
But yeah, as far as matches go, New Japan Strong every single Friday. We got a tag match coming out on Friday. DKC, Clark Connors. This will be the third tag match in a series of matches we've had with them. So we've been feuding with them pretty well. But yeah, moving forward, it's just going to be all New Japan Strong. So
catch us on New Japan Strong, yeah.
Every Friday night.
New Japan World.
New Japan World.
Yep, every Friday night.
Get that subscription.
Love it.
Yeah, great show, and it's I think, and I don't think I'm being biased, but I think right now in wrestling it's one of the coolest things going. So
Definitely.
You're not wrong. Yeah, you ain't lying.
If you like wrestling, if you like good wrestling, it's definitely a cool product to check out. And you can go back and watch all the old episodes, so they're all on demand. So if you've missed it or whatever you want to do, you can start from the beginning and watch. So it's cool. It's very, very cool. New Japan World's awesome. I definitely recommend everybody get on New Japan World.
Yeah, absolutely. And you have no excuse. You can go back and watch every single thing, like you said, so you can see every match they've done. And then you'll know that you have to buy a shirt because you're going to support these fellas, right? They're out here entertaining you.
And they have all the New Japan events on New Japan World. Yeah. So like World Tag League and
they have our matches from they have our first ever matches at
December matches.
Yeah.
So it's awesome.
Nice.
Awesome. If you're a wrestling fan, it's like a must have. It's so cool. Yeah.
Look at that.
Right.
And they're getting the plugs in. They're professionals.
I like it.
Tom.
Look at these professionals. Look at these guys.
Yeah.
And it's easy to a lot of people. I think a lot of people are afraid of it just because it's New Japan, it's Japanese, but it's really easy to navigate.
Yeah, you can click over. It's all like you can click over to English, and it's in
English and Japanese commentary.
You can watch it in either. Everything's in English, Japanese commentary. So it's super, super cool. It's super, super cool.
All right.
Well, like I said, we don't want to take up too much of your time. We know you're jet flying and the whole thing, so we'll let you get back to it. We'll look for you guys on Friday night on New Japan Strong. And thanks for the time, guys.
Thanks, fellas.
Hey,
Spanish Announce Table, best wrestling podcast in the world.
Yep. And honestly, congrats to you guys, too. I mean, how many episodes? 300?
This is 312, yeah.
312.
That's an accomplishment. And you guys should be proud of that because to stay with something that long, it's cool to see. And you guys are both great guys, and you guys,
especially nowadays.
Stuff. Yeah, especially nowadays. Like I feel like there's so many podcast type stuff that come and go, and it's like, oh, they did one episode here, one episode there. You guys have been consistent. You guys have been awesome. You guys have been on your stuff constantly. So congrats to you guys, and yeah, you guys deserve a pat on the back.
Appreciate it. Hey, and by the way, happy belated birthday. We know it was his birthday not too long ago, so yeah, happy birthday to you guys.
Getting up there, Nate.
Maybe I'll send you like a K-State shirt for your birthday then. You can change that. Right.
It is a pandemic, so we might be running over here soon. So.
Right. Right.
Tom,
hey guys.
I think K-State made the Final Four this year, didn't they?
Yeah. Is there even going to be one of those this year?
KU beat them in the Elite Eight, I think, that year. 88, Kemper Arena. I think K-State.
Yeah. How'd that football game go this year?
Oh, hey, easy. Let's take it easy, guys. Take it easy. Hey, the Chiefs. Hey, guys, remember the Chiefs?
Chiefs.
Yeah, Chiefs.
All right, Chiefs we can bond on. Guys, we appreciate your time a lot. I mean, you guys are the best. I can't encourage enough folks to go check you out. And you're twins, right? I mean, you're twice as nice. How can it be any better, right?
Twin life. Gotta love it. Can't spell twin without W-I-N.
The Spanish Announce Table.
Tom, the Riegel Twins are the coolest. They're so nice. I mean, they had compliments to say, which we love,
of course,
about us, of course. But before that, they were the coolest then, too.
And one thing that's really awesome, and maybe we can do this once we have some extra time on our hands, but the journey that they have taken from wrestling school to wrestling first couple matches in their career to now New Japan Pro Wrestling, New Japan Strong, that's pretty incredible. So maybe we can do some type of montage or something here in the near future for chronicling their progress and development in pro wrestling. But great guys, awesome to talk to. Obviously 2020 has been different for them. They don't live together anymore, and now for a short period of time, they weren't even in the same country. So I can only imagine what the stress was like that. Yeah. And then just that was one of the biggest standout points to me was their first match together was Sterling legitimately just off the plane, and obviously Logan going out to California as well, but both of them just off the plane. Hey, how are you? Well, I'm doing good. Hey, let's go wrestle. Like there was just that.
Hey, let's go be a tag team.
Yeah. Let's jump in the deep end and fly by the seat of our pants. That's commendable, I think. So credit to them. And again, as they mentioned, check them out Friday nights, New Japan Strong, not New Japan Pro, as I said, because I am a doofus. But
The Spanish announce table.